dog owners make the best choices for a happier and healthier dog. And today, in our episode of Get Pets Fit, we are doing book club, which I'm really, really excited about because I've got very special guests who I absolutely hounded to get on for you guys this evening. I want to introduce you guys to the lovely Kate Bendix. So Kate and I met because the book that I want to talk to you about tonight, guys, is something that I bought myself, right? So this is about telling you guys why I think something is good for you based upon my own experiences. And Kate, you and I started talking a little while ago because I bought your book and I absolutely loved it. And I wanted you to come on and tell everybody how fabulous it is. So I know you are also a dog owner. So let's just start with tell us a little bit about you and your dogs and your journey and kind of where everything natural and healthy started for you.
I started about 10 years ago. I've got my sister's dog, Bedlington, Norm, down there, and she had a little Bedlington who's 16 now, and he had really itchy skin, and I had a cat with very itchy skin, and we couldn't find any natural products for them, essentially. And once we did, I started a business selling natural products, and then it became evident really quickly that diet was a massive part of why dogs were itching and suffering and having smelly skin and greasy fur and being overweight.
So why did you go down the natural route to start with? Have you always been more into natural than kind of chemicals?
Yeah, being more into natural, but also all we were getting for the itchy skin was steroids, which just mask the symptoms, and steroid injections, which you don't need, or antibiotics when there was no evidence of infection. So we wanted to go down the natural route, and 10 years ago it was quite difficult, whereas now you're in a really well-established natural market and there's some really good products. Then they weren't.
So how did you go about it?
You're looking for all the stuff that works for you, and we were looking for all the stuff that could work, the same kind of thing. We were trying to find the best natural products that we could sell, and that's how Itchy Dog came about, and then the dog diet.
So if we go back, obviously, you're looking at all the natural products. So did you test a lot of things with a lot of herbs and stuff like that before you got to the point of the dog diet? Because you are infamously known for the owner of My Itchy Dog. So was it a little bit of tried and tested everything, or how did it all come? I'm just fascinated by the whole concept, to be honest.
No, we just had to go and find what was out there and then keep going. So we test everything like you do, see what worked, see what didn't. You might have 3 products that did the same thing but were different, and then we see which one worked best, and then we sell that one. So we only stocked what we knew worked.
Yeah.
And then we started getting a lot of customer feedback, and then more and more products gradually came on the market. So now actually the market is kind of saturated. So lots of things will do stuff for your bones and joints, lots of things for your skin and stuff like that. But we actually sit down and pick apart the science behind it, and actually if it does work, if there's enough of it to work. So if it's functional, like an oil for skin and coat, what is the functionality of that? What are the herbs in there and do they work? So we also worked with all the small companies, and we worked well with them. We would always ask what the stuff was and where the science was behind it. And if a supplier won't tell you, then you just don't deal with them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And where was your kind of aha moment that led to the dog diet? So you were dealing with obviously the symptoms of itchiness, but where was that moment where you went, you know what, we're dealing with this with herbs, but actually what's happening on the outside is as a result of what's on the inside?
Yeah, absolutely, which we all know for us. I wrote the first book, Top Dog, and my publisher said, this is going really well. And I said, well, but you really need to write is the dog diet. And she's a dog owner, or they are dog owners, and I said, because every time somebody calls, a customer calls, we say, what are you feeding your dog? What do you feed your dog? And I said, there's a book here in dog food, because my background is as a journalist, and I said, there's so much out there that is just misleading. When something says it's natural, it's meaningless. When somebody says it's hypoallergenic, that's pretty meaningless, and it's really difficult. Exactly the same track as you, really. It's really difficult to work out what's true and what's not, and what's actually of any use at all.
Yeah.
And so dog owners are really, we're really sold to, and marketing is lovely, but it's only for us, and what's in it can often be garbage.
So what I really loved about your book, Kate, and what I've already said to some people, friends of mine who are still kind of really early part of the journey, is genuinely, I wish that someone would have given me this, the moment I took Frank home, genuinely, because, we're seeing the information behind it to kind of back it. And what I love for people that I do think this is a book that every dog owner should have. It's not expensive, and the way that you've worded it is really easy, I think, for everybody to understand. Was that your aim? Like when you wrote this book, you were like, I want to kind of help those people who are super early on their journey, or did that just happen naturally with your personality type?
Yeah, personality really. I just like to make it really simple and a bit fun, and just not to take it too seriously. Just here are the facts. This is the science behind them. Don't feel guilty. You know, everybody's like, I'm sorry, I'm not feeding my dog raw, and I know I should. Well, no, you shouldn't. You feed your dog whatever suits your dog, whatever suits your purse. You just buy the best food you can, or make the best food you can with the money that you've got. You know, my dog eats raw chicken and veg. That's what she likes. But as she gets older, sometimes she wants cooked food, so I'll cook her food, and she's lucky that I can do that. But lots of people don't want to handle raw food, so it's basically just saying, here are your options for bought food, cooked food, and raw food. Here's the science behind all of it. Make your own mind up. Do what's best for you.
And genuinely, that's one of the things I want to kind of get across to people, like the things just to kind of pull out. And I won't tell everybody what's in the book because I won't spoil it, because I think people should actually, this should be on every bookshelf. But, you know, for example, right in the early days, you talk about like nutrition is everything. And you actually, one of the things I haven't seen other people do is talking about, just going to put as an example here, you've actually talked about the benefits of vitamin B, about how it does help with tissues and the hair and the nails. And
yeah.
That's not something you see. Not really. People say to you, oh, this got vitamin B, this got vitamin C. But actually taking that owner on that journey to say, but this is why it's important. Yeah. No, I absolutely love that. And also, you were talking about purses as well. And one of the things that I kind of jumped on was your 75p promise, which you put in there, which is all about, and I'll just read you a little extract, which is just to prove, in case you don't believe me, it will not cost you loads of extra money to feed home cooked. Here's a breakdown of my boneless burgers recipes. And I won't give it away. And that you also put a comparison there with Royal Canin dog food, which is a really popular brand in terms of pricing.
And total rubbish, yeah.
Yeah, well, we know that bit. But you actually, one of the biggest things that we hear is people don't realise, and that's what I love what you've done in this book. You've taken something, you've given a recipe, and you've broken it down and made it comparable with pricing and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I absolutely loved. Was that something as well that you wanted to do from the outset, that you felt that you would have loved to have had, or was that something that happened naturally?
Yeah, because people say I can't afford it. And then I worked with a pet nutritionist who devises pet foods for companies all over the world. And he had a huge amount of information. And he said people want to spend on average 50p a day on their dog. Wow. Even if they've bought a dog for $2,000 and the dog has, this is what always gets me as well, and it's fine, everybody should do what they want. When you spend £2,000 on a dog and then you've got all the kit for it, and then you're saying, well, actually, it's Raw Canin and I can't afford anything else. And that's when I get opinionated and say, well, you know, don't buy the extra rug or the extra bed. Just go and buy food. And because he said 50p a day, and I thought, that's really good. And I started comparing a lot of foods and thinking, actually, I can get this down to 75p a day.
Yeah.
Which I still got flack for. People were saying, well, I can't afford that for my dog, you know, or it wouldn't work for my dog, he's 40 kilos. But then I think, if you've got a 40 kilo dog, you're always scaling up. You're scaling up on flea treatment and all sorts. It's, you know, it's you always have to scale up or down for larger or smaller dogs. So I just thought, I'm going to base this on the average size of a dog, which is 12 kilos, and go from there.
Yeah, and you've also got some great case studies. There's obviously like people that you've worked with, dogs, with those people that were just like customers of yours who were buying more natural products that you kind of took on this journey with the diet, or were they friends?
Yeah, I had some people in mind. Sorry if it's wobbling, the dog scratching.
Norman's getting involved.
Yeah, here it goes, bye Norm. I had some people in the past that I knew that I'd spoken to a lot, because you know, a lot of customers came back and said, this is really now working, and this is working better because I'm feeding better, and this is what I'm feeding. So I knew quite a few customers, and then I put a little shout out on my newsletter, I think, and people came forward, and we just picked the greatest variety so that everybody had an idea of what their dog could be suffering from and how they could help, really.
Yeah, and you've got a real wide range of recipes in here. You've got things here that I really like, stuff for poorly dogs, and you've got things for inflammation. And obviously, just in case people aren't aware, this book is vet recommended. You have worked with vets. It's not, we sometimes talk about, you know, the holistic, more natural space not being backed by science, but you actually worked with vets on this book, right? It was reviewed and they are recommending it.
Yeah, it was Richard Allport kindly read it all and said, I can't find anything wrong with that. The nutritionist read it twice, and he doesn't read books, and he said it was just funny. He said, I read it, it was funny. He said, but actually all the facts are right. So that
it was. Do you know what? It's a really good read. That's one of the reasons why I think it's something that like every dog owner should have, because for the cost of it, it's also not. We sometimes get books. Let's just be honest, that we read because we have to read, because not. Whereas I found it quite easy to consume. You know, you could do that on an afternoon with a cup of tea, with the dog snoring on your lap after a walk.
Yeah, it's dead easy. Yeah.
So what's the kind of, what would you say are your favourite things in this book? Like, if you, the one takeaway that you want dog owners to have, because there's some really cool stuff here, guys. Like there's smoothies, and we've got some treats, and we've got like, you've gone to a lot of effort to put a real range of like different types of recipes in it, but from things that are sitting in people's kitchen cupboard. You're not talking about going to get green tripe, which isn't available in the human market, but you know, also is smelly and is bad enough if you're a raw feeder. But what's your favourite part? What was your favourite part of putting this book together?
I think because I've always come from a point of fighting for the underdog, because my history is things like Watchdog, Rogue Traders, stuff like that, and I'm sick to death of people being sold to when it's rubbish. I can't stand it. So the big thing for me was actually pulling apart what actually is in dog food. And actually, if you're going to buy prepared dog food, these are the great ones, and this is what to look for. So it was just giving people clarity and just a basic baseline of things to look for, so that they could look at any dog food at all and use that baseline, and then they could make a decision as to whether that was good food. And I really like that kind of investigative part of it. So that was great. I could say, look, you choose what you want. Here are the facts. And now you can take that away with you, and you can choose. You've got tools now. And the other thing was being able to say, doesn't matter what you feed. Again, these are the things to look for. Here's some recipes. Here's some food I recommend. Here are some recipes if you want to cook. And here's some raw food recipes. And actually, the big thing was saying with the nutritionist was saying, I'm going to give you all the recipes, and you tell me if that's giving a broad spectrum enough of the vitamins and minerals. Because vitamins and minerals on dog food, on prepared food, are, well, the kibble is a kilo pack that are from China that's sprayed on after cooking. Otherwise, it'd be destroyed. And it only has to have that minimum amount. So actually, you can give your dog far better nutrition if you can cook for them. But if you can't cook for them, you don't want to cook for them, then there's things like Nature Diet, and that, there's all sorts of really good dog foods out there. So it's great to be able to say, if you want to cook, if you want to buy food, which is, why wouldn't you want to buy food and just dole it out? This is the stuff to look for.
But there's no reason, right, why some of these recipes as well couldn't be shared. I'm looking at some of these like really cool smoothie ones. I probably wouldn't do it as kind of fluid for my dogs, because they wouldn't know what to do with it, because it's not something they're used to. But I'm looking at stuff and thinking, I should probably give that a bit of a go as well, which is a nice way to, a lot of our table scraps now, because we cook with onion, that's something we can't feed our dogs. But I like the way as well that you've put things together that, I could cook for my husband, my partner, for everybody, and we can all enjoy together, which makes life easier when you've got something you can share and give as a leftover.
Yes, so much easier.
No, I absolutely love it. So thank you so much, Kate. This book is fantastic. I know it's available to everybody on Amazon, and it's the only time my community is ever going to hear me say, head over to Amazon and find Kate's book, The Dog Diet by Kate Bendix. What's future plans? So you're obviously dog crazy, and you are a big asset to us as a community in terms of all of your knowledge. Yeah, so what comes next for Kate?
I was going to say, if you also can't do the Amazon, you can get it in Waterstones and actually a lot of local libraries.
Oh wow, I do like a proper bookshop. There aren't many of them around, so if you are somebody who likes a hardback and likes the bookshop experience, definitely
every time I go to Waterstones in Piccadilly, I go and look for it. If I'm in London, I go and look for it, and then I sign it because I want to.
Okay, so can we do a little fun? I will do a little fun competition that the first person that goes into Piccadilly and finds it and does a selfie with it and tags Kate will make sure that we send it back to Kate so they can have their own personalised signed copy.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. Just let me know, and I'll send you another copy of another book. So what's next? I'm going to set up a little online site which will be looking specifically at worms, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Dogs and worms. So it all sounds a bit niche, and it is very niche, but it will be a natural alternative to wormers.
Oh, amazing. I'm really excited to hear that because we don't like to overload our dog with chemicals when we don't need to. Kate, it's been absolutely fantastic. Guys, again, if you want to get yourself a copy of this book, I recommend it for anybody, regardless of where you are on your journey, whether or not you're kind of a new dog owner, somebody who's looking to add some fresh to the dog's bowl, or whether or not you're a raw feeder but just want some inspiration with recipes. This book does carry it all. There's also a great conditioning score, which is as a kind of reference guide at the beginning. Like I said, talks all through the minerals and actually some of the benefits for your dog. So this is something I would love to see on most bookshelves across the country, just because of I think it's a fabulous book, which is why I struggled and went through every single person I knew to try and get a hold of Kate, because I told her she had to come on and talk to everybody.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right. It means it's a little bit more exclusive for our community. So we
can I just say one more thing as well? I'll be at Crufts.
Oh, are you? What day?
I'll be there for all 4 days. I'm helping my friend Helen from Fieldwell's Dog Treats, and she'll obviously be doing all her treats and food, but also she'll be come along because we'll be helping her with raw feeding, some raw food and herbal flea treatments, worm treatments, and the worm count kit. So if anybody wants to know more and is going to Crufts and wants to know more about herbal flea treatments and wormers, just come and find me.
Absolutely. We'll send people your way. Thank you so much for that, Kate. That's been absolutely fantastic. Love having you on. Hopefully you'll come back soon and tell us before anybody else when you launch your new venture in the worming space. And if anybody's got any questions for Kate, please make sure email them in info@frankandjellies.com. I'll make sure that we pass them over to Kate and get those details. And like I said, Kate's book is available in Waterstones and also on Amazon, and is definitely a great buy for all dog owners. So thank you to everyone for watching, and we will catch up with you soon. Speak to you soon, guys. Bye.